subscribe our channel, stay till the end of the stories for more twist and turn. Comment us about what kind of stories you like to hear. Final update: my 26 male, wife 25 female, was caught in a decade-long affair with her cousin. This is going to be my final update, as I've had two friends in my real life approach me over my original posts and I'm really uncomfortable sharing this with anyone other than internet strangers. So after this is posted, I'm going to spend a day or so responding to comments before signing out permanently from this account. It was supposed to be a throwaway for these reasons anyhow. The last week and a half have been an extremely depressing and stressful time. I don't know why it took so long for it to set in with me, but in the days after my last update, the new information that my ex gave me concerning her relationship with Max started eating me alive. I started imagining them sneaking off every time my back was turned. I faced the fact that she was never truly mine, that I was just some placeholder man and babysitter here so I could provide a cover for her degenerate relationship. By the end of it, I came to the realization that I'm not going to continue to live my life as an extension of hers. This of course means that I will not be seeking any sort of relationship with her son after the divorce. It is the worst feeling I've ever had in my life, but I can't imagine myself ever getting better, ever truly living my life on my own terms if I can't get out from under her shadow. I know many of you don't want to hear me say this. I never thought I'd have to, but he's still young. I'm still young and there will be many years to heal from this. Sherry's life has been a living hell for the last 4 days. Her brother had arrived earlier in the week and she was so relieved to finally see her family in all this. When she introduced me as the ex-husband of Max's AP and that we had been supporting each other through this, he pretty much figured out that we were seeing each other. He took me aside like I expected any big brother might do and expressed concerns that she might be jumping into things too early. I explained to him that she and I had that same conversation, and are going easy because of this. I told him that respected his sister and that our relationship mostly began because I knew she had no support locally and being hurt in the same affair I thought we could relate. I also told him that if they decided it was best for her to go back home, I wasn't going to stand in the way. Her recovery should come first to her, not only for herself but her daughter. After that he and I got along as well as could be expected. When things were finally looking up, Sherry gets a call from the hospital and Max is in the ICU. He didn't leave a note so the reasons are still not solid, but he ingested a dangerous amount of antifreeze. I mean, obviously, with all the drama and shame of having his affair discovered, suicide isn't far-fetched, but on the other hand, of all the ways to kill yourself, who thinks of a method like this? I mentioned before that he was rumored to be getting into drugs, so accidental poisoning can't be ruled out. In any case, Sherry is now feeling tremendously guilty over this, as unwarranted as that might be. Max's parents went from universally condemning him to asking Sherry whether or not she'd consider reconciling with him. She told me that she told them she'd consider it, but only because she didn't want to see them hurting any more on top of this. As of writing this, he's been in the ICU for 5 days. I don't know all the technical terms, but there's a concern with crystal deposits in the brain, edema. He had a heart attack at some point during his initial treatment and honestly, nothing really looks good for him. Sherry told me that even if they manage to save him, the amount of brain damage he's received will impact him severely for the rest of his life. I can't say I pity him, I don't wish death or suffering on anyone, but this man had a hand in ruining my marriage, depriving a father of a son, ruined his own marriage, deprived a daughter of having a healthy father in her life. I'm just here for Sherry until she decides what she's going to do with her life following this. If she decides she wants to try and make it work with me, I'm open for that. If she wants to head back south to be with her family, I fully support that too. My ex, I hear she's actually seeing someone now, which probably means there were multiple guys in the shadows, which is a hard reality check for me. Apparently I have the situational awareness of a drunken toddler, or maybe I had blinders on, but holy hell, I have no idea who I was even married to. That's part of my reason for not remaining in my stepson's life, I'll never get past the drama and I'd have to sit back powerlessly and watch as her poor decisions continue to make his life worse and worse. I hope she smartens up, that her therapist actually gets her thinking right and responsible, but I have serious doubts she'll ever change. It's 6 years of marriage didn't civilize her, I doubt a therapist will. I still don't get what I did wrong. I'm a good listener, I'm a provider, I clean up after myself, I did my best to never make her feel unloved or unwanted. I raised her kid, I helped her aunts and uncles with home renovations, I had a great relationship with her folks. He father and I used to go out for a beer and watch the game together independent of her, so it's not as if there was friction in how I dealt with her family, and my family adored and accepted she and her son from day one. There were sexual issues I guess, but it's not like we had a sexless marriage. We could have had better communication there, as there were some conflicts over dominance, but I thought what we had was strong enough to endure something like that. Turns out there was really no relationship at all, just a damn illusion. I wish I had something more positive to end this on, but this will be my last update. If you're interested to know what I intend to do with my life moving forward, it's basically one of two options. Both will take place after this event with Max is over. I can't imagine myself leaving Sherry in the middle of all this, since she has been a constant pillar of support for me this whole time. Option 1: if Sherry wants to move back to her home state when this is over, I'll give her a kiss goodbye and send her on her way. No offense to that state, but I don't see a future for me there. If she wants me to go with her, we will have a discussion and I might do some research on the area to see if I'm misjudging it. She makes me happy, she feels like how a loving partner ought to feel like. I am not going to tell her how much she means to me, because I want her to be making choices that are the best for her and her daughter without me clouding her judgment. If she in the course of our discussion tells me she loves me, and wants to give us an honest try, I'll tell her how I feel and we'll go from there. I don't want to be morbid, but if Max doesn't pull through, we're both leaving the state anyway. Option 2: if Sherry and I don't continue our relationship, the answer is easier. I have friends and family on the West Coast that I've been missing, and my career has more opportunities for advancement there anyhow. I could really rediscover myself on my own and make a life for myself. In all honesty, this is probably what I'll most likely do. Go surfing again, stay in shape, find someone that'll actually love me, start a family. The possibilities are endless. I've mentioned this to Sherry and she expressed some interest in making a move like that because she's never been out west before. That would be an undertaking, but if the love and willingness is there, I'd be happy to date her for several months before deciding to take that step. Option 3: I forgot 3, I could just remain here and climb the ladder at work now that there is nothing preventing me from doing that. I'm currently a quality control floor supervisor in the manufacturing industry. Most guys who've worked here as long as me have already gone corporate and sit behind a desk, and that should have been me as well, but they needed a night supervisor and I couldn't take the position before because of family. I could just remain here and flourish, get myself a new girlfriend, or if for some reason Sherry stays here, pursue a lasting relationship with her. I'm also looking into my disorder to see if any advancements have been made. Maybe there's a way I could have my own children now with no fear of passing anything on. I haven't looked into it in over a decade, so who knows. Once more, thank you for all the support and comments. It's still the start of a lifetime journey and I'd be lying if I said I felt good about it, but things must go on. I've commented before and I'll do it a final time. You handled this shit show with the utmost civility a man could given the circumstances. I'm so happy to hear things with Sherry are still going well, even if her ex is causing more issues that will one way or another affect your guys' relationship. With that, I'm actually a little sad I won't be getting more updates from you on this story. I hope you the very best in wherever life takes you next. Well, I decided to update a few months from now when things finally die down. Hopefully, by that time I'll have everything figured out. Thank you for your comments, they've helped me distract myself and to think things through. Wow man, first you deserve a solid round of applause for how you handled this whole situation. You handled it with such maturity and clarity. Second is this: if you gandered that situation like you did, please have children, raise them, you'll do great. I know I don't know what is preventing you, but you seem to have overcome it and became a better person than I. Wish you the best. Well, I was being kind of vague about my disorder before to try to hide who I was, but as this will be my last update for the foreseeable future, I'll just come out with it. I may have before in the comments. I've got a brittle bone disorder. I have what is considered to be a mild case. Now, understanding it is just a mild case, I've broken upwards of 90 bones in my life. I officially stopped counting at 86. The majority of these are fingers and toes that I've broken and rebroken, but I've broken both arms a couple times, both wrists a couple times, both legs and ankles, cracked my skull, random foot fractures, fractured several discs in my spine, lucky to be walking, my nose, the list goes on. It's gotten better as I've gotten older, as I haven't broken anything, knock on wood, in 5 years now. I credit most of my mental strength to this disorder. My whole life can be summed up with me about to do something incredibly dangerous while shouting out I'm just like everyone else. But, there are cases with this disorder of a parent passing down a worse strain to their child. My stepson broke his arm once slipping on icy stairs and his pain shattered me. My poor mother had white hair in her 20s she playfully attributes to me and my injuries. My bio dad lied to her about his condition, so I don't blame her for having me, but I know there's a chance that if I have a kid they will live with that sort of pain. I could never willingly put a child through what I went through or put them through much worse. In that case I better understand your hesitation. I still think you have a lot to offer the world by bringing up children. But I wish you the best. Sorry. I might be the unpopular opinion here, but you and Sherry are trauma bonding and you really need to be on your own. Grieve. Be angry. Cry. Bargain. It's fine to have her for support, but when you bring love and emotion into it again, you're just chasing the high and putting off the inevitable coping and processing you both need to do. Don't tie yourself to this mess. Both of you can go heal separately, and if it's meant to be, come back together, new healthier versions of yourselves. You're in survival, fight or flight mode right now. Looking at it from a biological, neuropsych standpoint, your brain is seeking anything to get those familiar endorphins firing again. You're getting the high from Sherry and it may not be authentic. Your brain will do anything it has to in order to feed the patterns it's conditioned to. It's hard to grieve. Let your brain and heart go through it so you're coming out the other side rationally processing. You've only read me at my most composed. I didn't cry at first out of shock, but there were a few solid days of laying around listening to sad music. During my first confrontation, after I had the evidence in hand and she was still lying, I went full Kyle and punched a hole in my wall. I don't know what you mean by bargain, but infidelity is one of those things I don't compromise on. There is no working it, no marriage therapy. The moment someone is unfaithful, it's over, goodbye, game over. Here's the thing, when it comes to Sherry, I know that you are probably right. Logically, trauma bonding is what's happening and it's not a healthy starting point. However, I do have a real attraction mentally, physically, emotionally, ideally, for this woman. I am terrified that this is trauma bonding and will end terribly, but I'm also terrified of letting her go when it could be something real. As illogical and maybe stupid as it is, I'm sticking with her until she tells me it's not what she wants. I can accept that rejection, I'm ready to, but I'm not ready to turn her away of my own accord. Thanks for listening so far. If story have an update, we will post here. Like, subscribe to our channel for upcoming stories.